Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel for the last money reset of the summer. I know that the summer technically ends September 21st or 22nd, but to me, summer is strictly June, July, August, and the first day of fall is September. You can fight me on that. If you're new here, hi, my name's Alice. I love to chat about money and show you a little bit about my life. And I'm gonna walk you guys through my budgeting routine that I do every single month to close out the previous month's budget and then set up the current month's budget with you guys. It really helps us to hit our financial goals, be intentional while also enjoying our money. I'm wearing a dress today because it is over 100 degrees where I'm living in Utah. So grab your electrolyte, ice cold water, and let's get into this. Also, I have my wonderful assistant right here, Hazel. She is obsessed with budgeting, so she's gonna help us today. Not really, but a girl can dream. Alrighty, we are currently on July's budget spreadsheet, and this budget spreadsheet I bought off of Etsy. I'll link it in the description box below. It was only like $2, and I feel like it has such good capabilities and it's not too confusing, so I really love it. So let's start with our actual breakdown. This was a phenomenal month for us. I didn't realize that it was going to be a 3-paycheck month. That like kind of slipped my mind. Expenses and our bills, basically our needs, 45%, and then our savings was about 44%, and then our guilt-free spending was about 10%. It's always just such a blessing to have a 3-paycheck month. It obviously is temporary. It's not going to last forever. It's not a financial strategy to just be like, oh, we're going to have a 3-paycheck month, but when they do happen, it's very exciting. Let's go to income. So again, our income ended up being a lot higher than we thought it was going to be. We had a 3-paycheck month, but then also my husband actually got a promotion, which is super fun. Actually, this promotion came like a year or two late, which is not great. Getting promotions and getting raises definitely takes a long time. We're super happy that he got it recently. He's been there for 5 years, so the company match also increased, which is also amazing because we have the goal to try to invest $40,000 this year as a couple. So that will definitely help towards that goal. So we made about $12,630, which is awesome. And then we ended up taking $640 out of savings. That was from our celebrations fund for getting paid back $480. Using Amazon Prime, we bought someone a microwave, so they paid us back for that. And then we also traveled and my siblings paid us back for gas money. And then for the HSA, we ended up going to the doctors randomly a lot, like nothing serious. We had a couple skin checks, which we knew were coming. My husband had to go to the urgent care like twice, which is wild because a sprinkler like shot out of the ground and kind of like stabbed him in the shin, which was not good. So we had to go get a tetanus shot. But overall, all this money came out of the HSA, which is really convenient. We love having the HSA. We recently found out that our HSA has over $4,000, which is a lot more than we thought it did. So every time we go to the doctors, it just honestly feels like fake Monopoly money and not very stressful. For the business, I made $138.85. That will go directly into savings. I'm doing the whole 1-for-1 because I don't want to mess up on taxes. This is my first year making income as like a little business owner. So yeah. So overall this month we are working with $14,260, which is quite a bit of money for us. So let's go on to bills. Our mortgage, I am always so happy about this. If you're new here, our mortgage used to be $3,222, and we recently refinanced and now it is $2,600, which is a huge change, over $600 of savings every single month. Even though $2,600 will never not be a lot of money to me, I still feel like that is a great amount for a 3-bed, 2.5-bath house. I am drinking an Element electrolyte packet for the first time in my life, and it is like drinking the most delicious salt water. Like, it is so salty, which is good for me because I struggle with low blood pressure. It is so good though. Okay, internet is $45. That's always the same. Our gas was super low at almost $20. It is, again, as I've said, very, very hot here, so we are not heating our house whatsoever. Car insurance and water and trash are always the same, as well as life insurance and Canva. Our power, we thought it was going to be $140, ended up being less than $70 this month. Last year, we did pay a lot in power to cool our house. That's because we kept the back door open a lot for our cats to go in and out. They're definitely the type of cats where if you close one of the doors, instantly they want to go in and they're very interested in it. But this year it's just been so hot that we've decided to keep the door closed, and it has saved us so much money. And for Apple subscriptions, oh, I keep forgetting to fill that all the way out, but it's about $12. I do not budget every single dollar, so I'm okay if I miss things like this. And then we did end up adding 2 new subscriptions. My husband says it's called NVIDIA. I don't really know how it works. Pay every single month to reserve a spot on a server. I don't really know how it works. Anyways, and then Kindle Unlimited, but that's going to start next month. So I always get very hesitant to add subscriptions because subscriptions are are something that for some reason you don't really want to cancel, we try not to pay for too many subscriptions because that is very much lifestyle creep and sometimes you forget about it and then it's not intentional. Kindle Unlimited is going to replace Book of the Month for me. I tried Book of the Month thinking that I was going to absolutely love it, and I have read some of the best books I've ever read in my whole life off of Book of the Month, but the issue is that I don't like to pass over the month. I got charged recently even though I didn't want a book from this month, so kind of things like that happen where I'm just like, it's not really the thing for me because it stresses me out too much. All right, so for groceries, we did end up spending over $75. What we budgeted $500, spent $575. That is because we did do a grocery run. We had some family in town, so we wanted to make sure that we have like frozen dinners for them to eat. I was so staunch on believing that I wanted to keep our grocery budget down, but now I'm actually thinking with this new raise, with this promotion that my husband got, I am more interested in increasing our grocery budget so that we can eat healthier food that is easier to eat. I don't have to put too much time into making those things, using money to buy more convenient food to eat. For tithing/donation, we gave about $1,268, which is awesome. I love donating. I'm super grateful that we're at a stage in our life when we can make it happen. For gas, we spent almost nothing on gas, and that is because the AC in my husband's company went out, and then we also were traveling this month, so all that gas went onto the travel fund, and then also we had family into town, so my husband worked from home, so saved a ton of money on gas. For pet care, we ended up spending $19.33. I bought one of our cats, Hazel. She's very pasty. Her eyebrow area is very bald, and so I put little kitty sunscreen on her. It's not human sunscreen. I'm not convinced that it works. If you have a pet sunscreen that you actually like, that you think genuinely protects them from the sun, please let me know. I just get really worried about how pink and pale her skin is. So I'm trying this. She absolutely hates when I put it on. I hope that it helps. For miscellaneous unexpected, we did end up spending actually like a lot of it. So let's go see what that was. Walmart, yes. So I did buy towels. We realized that we only had one beach towel between the two of us, and we had family come into town and we swam a lot because it was so hot. And then my husband Venmo'd for some random stuff that we needed to send to people. And then, oh no, I didn't say what this one was for. I think this one is just random Walmart spending as well. Oh, also we went to Target. I got wrapping paper. We only had Christmas wrapping paper, and so I ended up just buying like 5 or 6 rolls of wrapping paper. Normally we don't put a ton of things in the miscellaneous unexpected category, but this month we randomly did buy just genuinely things that do not fit into any other category. Alrighty, for car maintenance, I had originally put $500 here. I thought there was an oil leak. Turns out there's not, so we didn't actually have to spend any money of that, which is super convenient. For house and yard, we ended up spending a lot more than I budgeted for, so let's see what that was. Amazon bug zapper. Okay, we have so many mosquitoes outside, and so we had to buy a bug zapper because it was crazy, you guys, and that thing goes off like an actual lightning bolt every 0.1 seconds. It's wild. Home Depot, this is super random. I don't quite know what that was. I think this is a drip line. It's a drip line stuff. I did do a Costco run. We do that like 2, 3, 4 times a year, maybe to get toilet paper, paper towels, and garbage bag. Quite a bit of money, but that's okay. I just feel like we are spending so much on our house and yard. Remember, for next year, when it is summertime, you have to budget hundreds of dollars a month for your yard because it costs a lot of money to maintain a yard. For personal care, we ended up spending a lot of money. Let's go look at that. That one's also red. Body wash, hand sanitizer, wet brush, diffusor, tampons, and pads. Okay, yeah, kind of a bigger personal care month for us. And then for health, we ended up spending a lot of money. So yeah, I budgeted nothing for this category because I didn't think we were gonna go to the doctors. Most of this came out of the HSA. Did forget to use the HSA card one time. Sometimes it gets really crowded there, you kind of forget, or we only have one HSA card, so we need to get a second one so that we can both have them in our wallets. If one time we did have a massive expense that we wanted to use the HSA for, but then we forgot, we would definitely take that out of the emergency fund. But overall, we can cover this, so it should be fine. Alrighty, let's go on to guilt-free spending. So we had a lot of fun this month. We ended up going to Oregon, and we had family from Oregon come to Utah, but I don't even think we overspent in guilt-free spending, which is super fun. Eating out, we spent $123 out of $150. I used to budget $100 a month for us eating out. It's probably a mix of inflation, but also because we make more money, it's just fun to spend more money as long as we are saving and investing more money as well. And then for clothing, I ended up spending a lot more money than $71, but then we ended up getting paid back from returns. It was a huge saga. I bought a dress that was so cute in my normal size. Didn't realize it had a super snatched waist, which I do not have that, which is fine. And so I went to go return it to get a different size, and the girl kept saying on repeat, "This is final sale, this is final sale, this is final sale." So I was like, thank you so much. I grabbed the dress, I went into my car, and I just bawled my eyes out because I was in my luteal phase like the day before my period. Obviously I was able to return it. Like, it wasn't final sale. It was literally hanging on the rack right there, full price. So I was just like, it just doesn't make any sense logically. I was able to return it, but then we had to like ship in the other order. It was a huge ordeal, kind of off that clothing brand right now, but we ended up returning that. So I only ended up spending around $72 for golf. Oh, I'm happy that my husband actually spent $96. Oh, what happened was he actually paid for his friends to play golf. They paid us back. That's not represented in here. So he actually probably spent only like $40 playing golf, but it's been so hot. I feel like it's hard to play golf in Utah sometimes because it's either snowing and cold or it's just like way too hot. For splurge, we ended up almost being right on the money, $2 over. Let's see what we spent that on. So I went and saw my coworker in a play, which was super awesome. She was really great at that. Book of the month, that accidentally got charged even though they said they wouldn't charge me. So I'm kind of confused about that. We went to Lagoon, which is an amusement park here in Utah. It was super fun. And then I ate food at Lagoon. So that was really fun. For travel, we budgeted $500 and it says that we spent $517.97. That is actually because my siblings ended up paying us back for gas. We ended up driving. It is safe to drive to Oregon from Utah in the summer, but in the winter time, you have to cross a lot of mountains. And I personally think it is so dangerous. So we only fly, but we're like, oh, it's the summertime. Like we can drive. We drove with my siblings. So we like split gas and everything. It was honestly really fun. And then I'm really proud of us because normally I would put $500 in our travel line of our budget and then say, oh, we're going to pull that money out of sinking fund and then never actually take that money out because in my mind, I always feel like taking money out of savings means that I'm failing at money. We save that money for travel specifically. So when we need to use it for travel, I'm going to make sure that we actually pull that money out of savings because I don't want to cause myself unnecessary stress. Then on our home, we spent $95.60. That includes like some dish towels, some organization stuff. I am loving doing stuff for a home right now, so maybe I should budget a little bit more next month. For dates, we ended up only spending $42 out of the $100. We went to the carnival and that was very fun. 2 corn dogs and we went on 2 rides, which is kind of expensive to me. So $20 ride on the Ferris wheel and then $20 or $25 of eating a corn dog. So kind of expensive, but also very fun. And it doesn't feel as stressful when we have that money set aside for date night. So that was really awesome. Okay, for gifts, I definitely thought we had no birthdays in July, but I ended up spending $159.82 on gifts. I also went to a baby shower because we make a little bit more money now. We do want to increase the amount that each gift costs. Friend gifts, I would do something around like $15 or $20. Family or like parent gifts would be around $30. But now I feel like now that we have more money, we can do a little bit more. So I did end up buying my friend a baby shower gift that was $50 and I was super proud of myself that I did that. Sometimes I can be a little bit stingy when it comes to giving to other people with my money because I'm like, no, it's my money. I want to hoard it. But then I want to spend it on the things that I want to spend it on that like only impact me. And then for celebrations, we did take some people out for their birthday and that was also very fun. It's a very fulfilling thing to do with your money. We did end up pulling exactly this much out of savings of our celebration sinking fund to make sure that again, I do not put myself in a situation in which I cause myself stress, even though I don't need to feel stressed because we actually do have that money. Alrighty, and the last part of this budget is the saving and investing. So for our emergency fund, because I didn't know that it was a 3 paycheck month, we were able to surprisingly put a lot more money into our emergency fund. We put $4,000 when I was originally planning $1,000. We were super happy to be able to do this because my husband did end up buying a FIFA World Cup ticket for around $3,100. And so it was awesome because he bought it in June and then the very next month we were able to replenish the emergency fund. Does it feel weird to pull money out of the emergency fund for a FIFA World Cup ticket? You bet. I was definitely like, is this the right thing to do? But my husband is a great person. He's a super hard worker. I mean, he did an extremely difficult degree in college. He does a job that requires a lot of thinking. He is such an amazing person, but we did not buy the FIFA World Cup ticket because he's a good person. We did it because we could afford it and we wanted to. I will never be able to make financial decisions that are completely 0% emotional. We didn't buy the ticket because of who he is. We bought it genuinely because we could afford to take that risk. It's much different taking $3,000 from $25,000 as opposed to taking $3,000 from our $10,000 emergency fund that we had when we first bought our house. So genuinely, if you can afford it and you want to do it, I see no reason to not do something. But if you want to do it and you can't afford it, that is the point where you have to go maybe in the future when my finances look a little bit different. Our lives are so different now than they were when we first bought our house. And that's fine. We were still very happy, but we couldn't do the things that we could do now. Money is very nuanced and we're super happy that we got to take the opportunity to do that for him. For the Roth IRA, we did $288 every single week and that comes out to $1,152. For the car, celebration, vacation, house and yard, and child, we ended up putting $175 into those sinking funds and then $25 into the cat sinking fund. For business savings, I made $138.85. So I put $138.85 into that fund. I'm not going to touch that money. Thankfully, we do not have to live off of that money. I'm very grateful for that. And then hopefully when taxes come around the next year, it will be very straightforward. And then we can just have all the extra money to invest back into the business. So overall, we were able to save $6,190.85, which is so much for us. And I'm very happy that we were able to do that. Okay, you guys, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. We're going to make the August budget spreadsheet together. If you do get this budget spreadsheet, how I make a new month is I just duplicate the current tab. Then I change the date. We budget from August 4th to September 3rd. Then I like to zero everything out. Even though we do have money rolling over from the previous month, it says we have $400 extra left over from June, but I know after doing the math that we have $200 less than we actually do. I don't know where that $200 went, you guys. It's genuinely missing. Also, money always gets lost, and I do like to have a little bit of a buffer for my buffer. Kind of just like to zero it out, and if we have extra money, then I'll put that into savings. Okay, let's start with income. So my husband does have a new income, so we should be bringing home about $9,892, which earlier this year, let's see how much we were bringing home. We were bringing home $9,200. So now we bring home $600 more, and our mortgage is $600 less than it was at the very beginning of this year, which means that our financial situation is definitely much different than it used to be. For savings, I don't foresee anything for that. For the HSA, we are going to get physicals, because if we get physicals, my husband's company gives you $1,000 into your HSA, but I'm almost positive that you don't have to pay money for a physical because it is preventative. So I'm going to leave this at 0, but honestly, every time I show up at the doctor's office, I am surprised at what I'm charged at. So we'll see. And then for business, I'm expecting $0. I took a lot of time off of July just to hang out with family, not worry about having a specific posting schedule. So I'm very excited to be here with you guys again on my regular posting schedule of Sundays and sometimes Thursdays. But yeah, I think that is all we're working with this month. Okay, for our mortgage, that is going to be $2606. The internet is $45. Gas, I'm guessing, is probably going to be very low because it's been so hot. I'm going to budget $20 for that. For car insurance, let me just duplicate some things. Power, I'm going to do $100 just because it's been even hotter this month than the last month. Apple subs are $12.97. My husband said Nvidia is going to be around $10, and then Kindle Unlimited will be $12.88. To me, Kindle Unlimited is such a good price for so many books. My issue with book of the month is that there are so many genres of books that you can get, and for me, I almost only read rom-coms or romantasy, but honestly, I read maybe like 3 romantasy books every single year. Like genuinely, I only read rom-coms. So yeah, Kindle Unlimited has an absurd amount of rom-coms, so it really is the best for me. But when book of the month does have a good one, that's great, but it's not every single month. For groceries, I genuinely think I want to do $650. Normally our grocery budget is $500, but I did recently set the goal to work on my physical health. I just feel like so many parts of my life are really good. I have a great social life. My mental health is honestly pretty good, even though my periods are like I'm not doing well on my, like the week before my period, but I just feel like food is the medicine. And so I want to focus on my physical health, and part of that is grocery shopping, buying food that is easy to eat, that is healthy, instead of something that takes a lot of time. So using the extra money that we make to make our lives easier and more convenient. Maybe I will do $600 for this actually, just to keep things more in check. For tithing, we do 10% of our income. So I will do this times 0.1. For gas, I'm gonna budget $250. I feel like gas prices did go up again. Last time I filled up, they were about $4.19, and anything over $4 definitely makes things very expensive for us. But our cars are pretty well filled up, so that should be good. Pet care, it is Hazel's birthday. I'm very excited. She's gonna turn 6, you guys. I'm literally so sad that she's growing up. But I think I'm gonna budget $35, and that is going to be for another kitty water fountain. We found that if we have little water fountains for them, they drink a lot more water, which will help lengthen their lifespan, I'm pretty sure. Miscellaneous unexpected, I'm gonna do $350. If you are new to budgeting or new to my channel, I love having a miscellaneous unexpected fund act as my overflow for every other part of the budget. As much as I love budgeting, I have never budgeted a perfect month before. And so this really helps it, so that if we do overspend in one category, it's not the end of the world. Also, when those things come up that are not in any category or that you didn't see coming, they can go in the miscellaneous unexpected. Just really takes away the stress of budgeting. We have prioritized this fund even when we had less money. We would budget less for other categories because we knew how important it was to have a fund where those unexpected expenses go. Okay, for car maintenance, I think we do need an oil change for one of our cars. I'm gonna budget $100. Actually, we might need it for both of our cars, which is like a bad omen, I feel like. And you will not catch me at Jiffy Lube. I have been burned too many times, so I'm done with that place. For our house and yard, I want to say nothing. Oh my gosh, wait, no, we have to budget a lot for our house and yard because I realized we are going to be buying trees because one of the places that we buy trees from is having a sale. Oh my gosh, we're gonna have to take money out of the house and yard sinking fund. I'm gonna budget honestly $350, and then we're gonna have to take that money out of savings. Yeah, trees are expensive, but they are gonna be on sale. Okay, for personal care, I'm gonna budget another $30. I don't foresee us needing anything, especially because we stocked up on a lot of things. For health, I think I'm gonna budget $150 maybe. So this again goes with my health goal, improving my physical health. I have had a lot of wild hormonal cycles recently, and I just want to support myself better in that. I don't have any sort of like aesthetic goal of how I want my body to look and what shape I want it to be. I don't know if that's very healthy for me as a person. I know other people love to set goals like that, but for me, there's just so much more to life than looking a very specific way and trying to swim upstream against your genetics. Obviously, if you want to do that, that's great. But for me, I really don't enjoy my life when I do things like that. So I'm setting this goal as like, I want to try workout classes because I feel like they're really fun, but I am a little bit nervous to do them. I know they cost more money than just like having a basic gym membership. Then I also want to buy workout clothes. I have so few workout clothes. Sometimes I want to work out and I literally can't. It's like, okay, I have 2 pairs of yoga pants. So I run 2 days in a row and then I can't run anymore. So maybe $150 for health this month. Left to budget $4,121. I think that should be pretty good, very generous for our expenses. Let's go on to guilt-free spending. So for eating out, I definitely want to do $150. For golf, I want to try to do $100. You guys, it is literally the hottest month ever. We'll see if my husband can actually do that. For splurge, let's try $100. Oh, I also always forget that when I do the last part of my budgeting routine, I actually combine guilt-free spending and saving and investing, because I find that sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm only going to do saving and investing and no guilt-free spending, and that's very unsustainable. While I also don't want the scales to tip and do too much guilt-free spending and not enough saving and investing. So let's do all the non-negotiables for those 2 categories, and then we can go through and see kind of what we want to add. So for dates, $100 non-negotiable. Oh, I want to do actually $140 because I want to get back on track of me and my husband doing like little gifts that we buy each other. Instead of doing a weekly date, I wanted to do one out of the house date a month, and then I also wanted us to take $20 and spend it on the other person as a surprise. So I'm going to do that. And then for gifts and celebrations, yeah, I genuinely feel like we have nothing. For home, I want to try to do $100. For travel, nothing. And for clothes, well, let's see. Okay, we have $3,531 left. Let's see what we can do with that. So I think there are 5 Wednesdays in August. $1,440. For the emergency fund, we need to do $1,000 every single month in order to hit our $30,000 goal by the end of the year. So that's kind of non-negotiable as well. For the girls, $25. I am getting to the point where I'm thinking, how much do we actually need to have in our sinking fund for our cars? Part of me is like, we should have $5,000. The other part of me is like, our $2,000 sinking fund is enough. But what if we put $200 in for everything? Oh, we'd have $66 left to budget with. I just want to make sure that the budget is still very realistic. I do not ever want to pin myself to a very unrealistic budget spreadsheet. So I think for clothing, maybe I should move this $100 from health, $50 to clothing. Okay, let's take a look at everything. Is it doable? That is definitely a little bit less than we normally spend on guilt-free spending. We normally spend around $700. I'm going to increase the clothing budget to $100. I do know that you can buy really great activewear at Old Navy, so that's probably where I'll hit up first. Sometimes I forget that when you get used to saving a certain amount, it suddenly becomes not very impressive to yourself or to myself anymore. So I just went back through my budget spreadsheets and made sure that some of my husband's promotion actually is going towards saving and investing. And now we're able to do more $3,400. So some of that money is definitely going to saving and investing, which makes me feel much better about like the lifestyle creep. Inflate our lifestyle. We're also inflating how much we're saving and investing. So I feel much better about that. Anyways, thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you later. Bye.